agenda item, or call item number 2. As indicated here, that it's going to be decided on a machine vote, and the clerk has read that. However, we will take public comment and debate. I ask again that everyone follow the rules that I outlined earlier. With that, the chair will recognize Mr. Thompson.
Yes, Mr. Moderator, my name is Mark Thompson. I live at 31 Evergreen Terrace, and I'm also the current chair of the Board of Finance. I'd like to make a motion to consider the 2010-2011 budget as recommended by the Board of Finance, with income of $50,728,948 and expenses of $50,728,948, which shall be voted on by machine vote at the adjourned town meeting referendum to be held at the Community Center at 20 Pine Street, Seymour, Connecticut, on Thursday, April 29th, 2010, between the hours of 6 o'clock a.m. and 8 o'clock p.m.
Is there a second to Mr. Thompson's motion? Yes, sir. Can you state your name and address?
Bill Peck, 20 Bellevue Terrace. I second.
Second. The chair will open the mics for debate. I ask we'll start at the right and go to the left, and we'll alternate microphones. Anyone wishes to comment on the motions made? Seeing no one from the right, we'll again recognize the lady to my left.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Michelle Pavlik, 5 Emma Street. I want to thank the Board of Finance for their hard work on this budget this year, but I feel that they've done as much as they can with the budget. My comments are respectfully addressed to the First Selectman and the Superintendent of Schools, who have the authority and power to bring meaningful cost reductions to the budget. I believe a moderate tax increase is supportable if the town and Board of Ed labor costs are reduced, critical positions are filled, and budget funding is allocated properly. A mill is equal to approximately $1.3 million, so to bring down the tax increase from a proposed 2.23 mil to 1 mil means reducing expenditures by approximately $1.6 million. There are a few areas in the proposed budget that could withstand cuts substantial enough to offset the spending reduction. It will be hard for me to support a budget that has cut critical services and education funding to focus solely on preserving current levels of employee compensation and benefits. It will be hard for me to support a budget that does not include a solid plan for the future by filling the vacant economic development position. It will be hard for me to support a budget that does not include a human resources position to manage the town and Board of Ed staffing, performance management, policy development and training, employee relations, and most critically, employee compensation and benefits. Private sector businesses that are unionized have HR positions filled by qualified HR professionals to protect the employees and the business. The town can no longer safely and cost-effectively sustain itself without an HR position. Private sector businesses and municipalities across the state have taken a hard look at operating costs. Most have determined that the single largest operating cost, compensation and benefits, must become more affordable in order to continue providing products and services. Private sector businesses have frozen and reduced salaries, eliminated bonuses and pension plans, increased job responsibilities, and increased employee contributions for health plans and retirement. State and local governments are looking at these areas to reduce expenditures and relieve the tax burden for citizens. I can support a budget that has taken a critical look at employee compensation and benefits, reduced these costs, and allocated funding to critical needs. The taxpayer gravy train needs to pull out of the municipal budget station before it runs out of fuel to get home. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to comment on the budget? Sir, are you coming down? Anyone else wishing to comment on the budget? Yes, ma'am. Just state your name and address.
Hi. Cricket Peltier, 4 Fawn Hollow Drive. Thanks for the opportunity. To again voice my opinion, I support the budget in full. Rather than repeat my thoughts from the Board of Finance meeting on April 8th, I put these new observations out tonight. Connecticut Magazine recently rated the small towns in Connecticut. Ours was compared with 29 others with populations between 15 and 25,000. The criteria for comparison was economy, crime, cost of living, leisure, and culture education. A rating of 1 was the best, 30 was the worst. Seymour ranked last, tied for 29th with Ansonia. Leisure came in at 29th, economy and crime both at 25th, and education at 26th. On the other end of the numeric spectrum was our cost of living at 11th. So, we're on the low, for Connecticut standards, low, which is not low, but low side of cost of living, but the high side of crime, the low side of cost of living, but our economy, community culture, and educational systems are struggling, and yet we quibble year after year over whether or not to meet the budget that is already so very low compared to that which has been requested, as said, and I do believe to be needed. It seems human nature and very easy for us as individuals to put forth blanket statements about why this or that is or isn't necessary. And I'd remind those of us who know and inform those of us who don't that each and every board member we discuss and address is a volunteer who has our town's best interest at heart and in mind as they wade through this process. I don't wish to pay more in taxes. I'd wager that no one does. I bet we'd all love to walk out of here hearing there will be no increase. However, to this point, they have considered the increase a necessary evil after weighing facts and figures and upon consideration of the needs as represented to them. In closing, I listen to my doctor's advice when it comes to health. I listen to my mechanic in terms of my car's health, and I listen to the board and those who have informed it in full in terms of our town's health. I have never run a school system or a police department or a town budget. I will gladly inform myself as best I can, ask questions when necessary, but I hope none of us would be so delusional as to imagine that we know all there is or all we need to know. I look at it like this. You've got a car you still need to pay off, but it's in great need of a lot of work. Someone offers you one for a little more money than you were paying. It's still a lot of money, but you're already paying. The new one promises to run smoother, get better gas mileage, not leave you broken down on the highway, and might even offer a perk or two, like air conditioning, power windows. Once you paid it off, you wouldn't be looking at any major repair bills. You'd likely think about it differently than you do your taxes, but maybe we should not. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, before you leave, can you just restate your name for the clerk's records, please?
Christine Peltier, 4 Fawn Hollow Drive.
Maybe you just want to check in with her so she can record it in her notes, please.
Now?
Yes, please. Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address this meeting? Anyone else wishing to comment on item number 2 of the call? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask 2 more times. Anyone else wishing to comment on item number 2 on the call? Anyone else wishing to address this meeting has any questions as to item number 2 on the call? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned to next Thursday. For those of you, the community center was once known as the junior high. And for those of Mrs. Rosen's age, it was once the high school, but it's in the same place. I hope you all participate. Thank you for coming.